Hello and welcome to the boss guide for the normal mode version of Lakshmi. This boss is suspended high on a pillar waiting to purge you from existence. Lakshmi is all about the button on your screen. This extra action ability known as Viral is something which can separate the fight between a win and an instant loss in only a few seconds. Before that, however, let's look at her abilities and what you need to do for them. Firstly, we have two ads facing us. These Dreaming Kshatriya need to be taken down first, as you cannot immediately attack anything else. Her first move will be whilst the ads are out to spawn these balls. For the first time in a while here, the balls are actually positive things, so don't be afraid of running near them. They're simply there to refill your viral gauge, which we'll get to much later. The two ads have AoEs and eye-facing mechanics to avoid, but shouldn't be alive for too long to be a problem. Once the ads are dead, Lakshmi herself is now attackable and starts using her abilities. The first of which is Hand of Grace. This puts markers on two players. These create cross-shaped line AoEs. In this case, these players need to move so there's a gap for the group to stand in near the boss for a safe zone. They do hefty damage if they are stacked, but you have plenty of time to move with them. They just have the effect of being very bright, and so does the room, and can be hard to judge and see. When the lines fade, they explode with damage to anyone that was in them. Secondly is the ability Hand of Beauty. Two players will be marked here, and instead of the lines, you simply have to move AoEs to the sides of a room. Once the petals fade above your head, they drop a nasty blue AoE, but you don't want to stack on others. Next up, she should transition phase. Your Viral button should be lit up with one charge out of one charge. When the line "Rest your weary souls in my bosom" pops up with a text box, you may use your Viral button to survive her ultimate ability. Failure to press this button is death for your character. Viral lasts for over 40 seconds and you shouldn't be afraid of pressing it slightly early as this text box appears to survive it. Lakshmi then picks up a ball of light from a room and appears to smush it into her face. Whatever floats your boat, not sure what she's doing, but it hurts. After this phase ends, you should be alive, hopefully, and your Viral will be 0 out of 1. Her next move should be to put out new balls, and then begin casting an ability called Divine Denial. This attack is a massive pushback that will knock you off and kill you when it finishes its cast. The only way to survive it then is to use the Viral button again. To charge it, run into a ball until the button lights up 1 of 1 again. Use the Viral button before she casts the ability and be near the center of the room. Viral then limits how much she can push you back, and you should be fine only moving slightly, as opposed to death. Further rotations of Hand of Beauty and Hand of Grace will continue, with Divine Denial keeping you on your feet, making sure to collect those balls. Lakshmi is all about keeping that Viral button ready to use and using it before those two abilities. She has a new ability called Pall of Light. This puts a stack marker on somebody's head, the big arrows. This player needs to come to melee range to be stacked up on to split its damage, whilst avoiding whatever other abilities are up, being Hand of Beauty, etc. Later into the fight, past 60% health left, she will actually use both Hand of Grace and Hand of Beauty together, so you've got line AoEs to avoid and two markers to spread out around the room. This can be tricky to manage free space on the platform without hitting other players. Just know to try your best to not panic and make sure you make the best decision you can, even if it means hurting yourself rather than causing damage for the main group, which should be near melee range. Once you have Viral nailed down and the timings, it's a very enjoyable primal fight, and I'm fairly sure this one will be extremely exciting on Extreme. I cannot wait. Thank you very much for watching. If you've liked this, please leave a like and possibly a subscription if you want to see more. Thank you very much. Until then, I will see you next time.